Hi guys, today I'm sharing with you the top 10 mistakes that I've seen first-timers make at all-inclusive resorts. I recently got back from a trip to Punta Cana and I've had the pleasure of going to resorts in Mexico before as well as Cuba. I think there's nothing like an all-inclusive resort when it comes to relaxation, and you don't want that experience to be tainted by some mistakes that could have been avoided easily. So I want to give you all my tips to help you have a smooth, enjoyable vacation. Mistake number 1, booking the wrong resort. I think it's very easy to get swayed by beautiful pictures and great deals, but some cater more to couples, some to families, and some to a party crowd. I mean, maybe you're a couple that doesn't have kids but still prefer going to a family-oriented resort rather than one that's all about drinking and partying. So it's very important that you do your research and find the one that suits your needs. If you're traveling with kids, look for amenities like kids clubs and water parks if your kids are into that stuff. A lot of times there's kid clubs where you can actually leave your kids for the day. They'll take them to the beach, they'll take them to different parts of the resort and do different activities with them. So, that can be something really helpful. And then the parents can go and enjoy their own time. Now, if you're traveling with older family members like grandparents, maybe you also want a resort that's more walkable. Some resorts are huge, and while their properties are beautiful, maybe there's like a golf course in the middle of it that you don't need. You know what I mean? A lot of resorts do have these golf carts that can kind of transport you around, but you do become a little bit dependent on them if, things are far away. With a resort that's smaller and more walkable, it's just easier to quickly walk to your room, walk to the pool, walk to the buffet. Even for kids, sometimes a huge resort can be a little bit of a struggle in the evening because they just don't want to walk anymore, but you often have strollers, so then it's easier. Mistake number 2 is not taking sun protection seriously enough. This one may seem obvious, but you'll be surprised to see just how many first-time travelers to all-inclusive resorts end up with like crazy sunburns. As a first-timer, you might underestimate just how intense it is to be under the sun all day. 2 days in the sun without proper sun protection, I'm telling you, that third night, you will wake up with like crazy blisters. I'm just doing a lot of this because I've seen like people's shoulders get sunburned like crazy. They can't even move them at that point because the skin becomes so hard and it's just like, it's actually painful. Basically, make sure you take sunscreen with you. Make sure it's the water resistant type of sunscreen. You do have to keep reapplying it, especially because you're in the water and it gets washed away. If you're going with little kids, you got to help them with it, and they hate it at first, but then they get used to it. Sometimes it's really nice to just get the spray on sunscreen so you can easily cover legs, the back of legs. And definitely bring hats with like large brims because then it's gonna automatically protect your cheeks and neck area and all of that, which is great. Take that time to reapply your sunscreen. You will thank yourself later. This is like one of the hardest things you'll do on a resort vacation. Mistake number 3 is not checking the resort schedule. Most resorts offer a ton of activities. Some of them require sign-ups, some don't, but if you don't know about them, you're not going to be able to take advantage of all the little fun things that are happening. Pool foam parties, nighttime shows, kids game, beach volleyball, etc. These are things that you want to look into, I would say, within the first 24 hours of your check-in at the resort. That way you can see what interests you, book the activities that require booking, and then plan your whole week or, all your days accordingly. At the resort that we were at recently, they had a really nice kids theater. One of the nights they had a Lion King show, which I know my kids would have loved, but because we didn't check the schedule, we kind of missed it. Like, we went and it was like just ending. And then that was also bad because of course now the kids were like, why did we miss this? If we had known about it earlier, we could have kind of planned our dinner to be a little bit earlier and then maybe ended up at the show at the right time. Mistake number 4, along the same lines as the previous one, is sticking to the buffet only. Don't underestimate the power of a la carte restaurants at these resorts. Many resorts offer fantastic sit-down meals with amazing service. It's a great way to break up the buffet routine a little bit and just have a special family night out. Now, the really good restaurants at your resort, or like the ones with the popular cuisines like Italian, Mexican, Japanese, those tend to get booked up faster. So that's why you want to look at the restaurant situation also within the first 24 hours and book the ones that you want to go to. The thing is, usually there is space so you can still visit them, but like the ideal timing window that you want might be taken up. For families with young kids, 6 p.m. to 7:30 is a popular time because they want to have that dinner early and then go to bed. Mistake number 5, now connected to the previous one, is having unrealistic food expectations. As many of my subscribers are Muslim, they are concerned about halal food. So let me tell you up front, there is no halal food at these Caribbean resorts. They offer seafood, vegetarian options, egg-based dishes, salads, and an endless variety of seasonal fruits. I honestly never felt like I was missing out on my protein. So like, unless you only eat chicken, beef, goat, etc., you're not gonna starve. You're gonna be fine, okay? But if you don't eat seafood and you don't eat eggs and stuff, then yeah, maybe these resorts are not the place for you to go. They also have people sort of doing some live cooking for you. So whether it's creating pasta with your own custom veggies or whatever you want, croissant or making omelet with your own toppings. We stay away from it because there's a lot of cross-contamination there. So like the person before you might be getting an omelet with ham in it, and then they'll just kind of, you know, give them their omelet and then make yours in the same one. We stuck to like trays and areas that were obviously vegetarian or like egg only and fish only. If you're someone who is very particular about that type of cross-contamination and who knows what's happening in the kitchen type situation, then I would say, you know, these resorts are not ideal for you, and maybe you should look at like resorts in Turkey across the pond or something like that. Mistake number 6, I'm gonna say, is ignoring the beach location. The beach is usually a big part of the resort experience, but I know not everybody loves beaches. If you want to be able to spend time at the beach in the sand every single day, then make sure that you are booking a beachfront property, because there's lots of resorts with great pools and everything, but then the beaches are so far away that you kind of have to make it like a beach day. So you have to plan for it, you have to get all your beach toys and everything, to take one of those cars or golf carts to like go get to the beach, and it's not easy to just kind of go back and forth. The beachfront property is just easier. If let's say half the family wants to be in the pool and the other half wants to go to the beach, or you want to switch between the two easily, then you can just do that. Also with the beachfront properties, you can always go for a nice evening walk along the beach, and it's always so beautiful. The wind, the waves, the sunset, it's just always gorgeous. So I love that about beachfront properties. But you know, again, if beaches are not important to you, then don't pay a premium for that beachfront property. Mistake number 7 is about packing the wrong things. Okay, this one is a bit tricky because everyone has their own style of packing, but there's some things that I think you should keep in mind. Pack your basics, obviously. Pack for the activities you plan to do. For example, don't forget water shoes, especially if you know that the beach you're gonna go to is rocky. Pool floats for yourself or the little one. Comfortable walking shoes or sandals. Most a la carte restaurants have a dress code, so maybe you want to pack a couple of nice outfits for those family night outs at the restaurant. So depending on what time of the year you're going, pack your clothing materials accordingly. I mean, mostly it's going to be hot as much as possible. I tried to pack cotton and linen for myself, and I was so comfortable there as a hijabi. And that is related to the next mistake that I want to talk about, which is ignoring weather and seasonality. Before you book your trip, it's crucial to know the time of the year and the season. If you're looking for sunny skies or if you're looking for a budget-friendly trip, timing is everything. High season is like mid-November to mid-April. This is the best time to visit for guaranteed sunshine, but be prepared for higher prices and crowded resorts. Just a simple demand and supply situation, you know. The low season is June to November, so expect low rates, fewer tourists, but be aware that this is also hurricane season. Some of the best deals can be found during this time, but always check the weather for potential storms. May, I feel like, is like the in-between month, which is when we went to Punta Cana recently. I've been to Mexico before in like the peak season, and I've also been to Cuba in the off season. So I've kind of tried all of them, and I really liked May. Mistake number 9 is falling for upsells and presentations. Be cautious of those aggressive pitches to get you the oceanfront view or like the premium room. You know, sometimes the price add-on that they give you just does not justify the added benefit. You know, many resorts lure guests with the promise of like free perks in exchange for attending timeshare presentations. These can be like very high pressure and time consuming, but trust me, you can say no and walk away. Mistake number 10 is not exploring the local area. Again, this is one of those things that's not for everyone. Some people are not comfortable leaving the resort property. I personally think it can be great. Like when we went to Cuba, we had a great time visiting Havana. Havana was like such a vibe, so I loved it, and it's still one of the most memorable like day trips I've done. I remember we booked a tour from the hotel lobby. It was convenient. We booked it from right then and there. The pickup and drop off location was a hotel lobby, so we didn't have to go anywhere for it. We went as a big group in a big bus, so it felt safe. But basically, when we had one kid in Cuba, we went because it just felt easy and manageable. Now with 3 kids and their strollers and packing their snacks and stuff, we stayed away from that. But inshallah, when my kids are a little bit older, I think we will start to venture out again. I think it can be so much fun, you know, whether you're visiting a historic landmark or just going to a local bazaar, or even actually you can go for things like snorkeling and whatnot. So it can be fun if you're into that stuff. Okay, I think I'm gonna add one more bonus mistake that I just thought of, and it's about reading reviews. So sometimes reading the reviews can be tricky because it's all the really angry people that came to say stuff, right, that they didn't like. But also it can be very telling. Like some people do take the time to really explain what they liked and what they didn't like, the pros and cons, and that can be helpful. Keep in mind that everyone is different. People have different travel preferences. So if someone says one thing is good, someone else may not like that same thing. It's important to make sure you're reading reviews from people that have a family like yours. Like if you have little kids, you're taking grandparents like I did, then my review would be like more helpful to you. I feel like there's so many other little points that I can can talk about, but I'm gonna stop here because I really feel like these are the top mistakes that I've seen people make. Some of them I've obviously made them in the past, so now I've learned my lesson, and I feel like the trip that I recently had was one of the best I've had in a while. I really hope these warnings and tips help you have a good, smooth vacation that your whole family will enjoy. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will try my best to answer them. As always, if you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more amazing content coming your way, and what else am I supposed to say? Oh yeah, and share it with anyone who you think is going on a vacation and will find this helpful. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!